Day of the Consumer Electronics Show, the biggest tech show in the world here in Las Vegas. And what you're looking at right now is really capitalism on steroids. You see companies moving so quickly, trying to form bonds with other companies, be purchased by bigger companies, so you never know what day BlackBerry is in and then the iPhone, rather BlackBerry's out and the iPhone is in. So you're probably wondering why I look like Bono right now. These glasses are actually from a company called Viewpointsystem, and the reason I think they're interesting is because we've talked so much about body cams being a possible solution for some of the problems that we've seen between law enforcement and some communities, and so we've talked about police officers already experimenting with body cams. Well, these glasses take that to the next level. So I have the CEO of Viewpointsystem. Thank you very much for joining us. So walk me through how these glasses are different from other smart glasses that we've seen on the market.
All right, first of all, they are tracking exactly your focal point, so I could now see where you're looking at the moment. Now we are processing the video streams on the glasses, which makes them tamper-proof. So
I'm wearing the glasses and they're streaming back to somebody else at headquarters.
Exactly.
So let's say that I'm a police officer and you're the sergeant. I have the glasses on and you're able to see exactly what I'm seeing recorded or in live stream?
In live stream, wherever you are, actually.
And then actually, I'm going to ask you to hold the microphone for 1 second, so we'll both use it. But what's inside here are actually cameras, correct?
Exactly, yeah. You have two cameras in the nose wings, and you've got infrared LEDs that enlighten your eyes. So we are tracking with these two cameras your eye movements, and you got the front camera if you turn around, which then gives you the view towards what you're looking at, and at the same time we can track real time and live remotely where exactly you're looking at.
And if I'm not mistaken, so basically what this is the cameras inside the glasses are tracking the movement of my eyes, so that the camera up front then is actually moving based on what I'm seeing.
No, the camera itself does not move.
The camera doesn't
not
move, but inside
there is an algorithm which is then calculating exactly where your focal point is based on what your eyes are doing.
In other words, if I'm a police officer and I'm dealing with somebody and all of a sudden I'm focused left, looking at something here, looking down because I think there might be a gun, that camera is going to go and focus, not just because I'm physically moving, but because of where my eyes are moving.
Exactly.
Is this in use already?
Yes, we're selling it since 8 weeks, quite successfully, luckily. So we have it in different industries. It's law enforcement, paramedics, first responders, surgery, like remotely supporting another surgeon.
Paramedics, you mentioned. How could this be useful to a paramedic?
If there is a traffic accident and you have the first responding unit on site and they are experiencing something they can't cope with, so specialists can log on to the glasses and then you're lending your focal point to him and he can support you.
And how much is this going to set law enforcement or a paramedic back? How much does it cost?
It's $16,000 roughly.
$16,000. Not cheap.
Not cheap, but it's worth the money.
All right, well, I think it's really interesting, especially if it could help law enforcement and people see what law enforcement are seeing. I think that could be an incredible use. So thank you very much for joining us here at CES. I appreciate it. Now, another piece of technology that caught my eye, and this is where I always think it's really interesting to be a tech reporter, not just to see what's cool, but to see what could change people's lives. This is called Geno, and it's actually for people who are suffering from Parkinson's. And oftentimes they have tremors. I'm not having one right now, but I'm just trying to set this up. I have a quarter on there to show. So somebody with, hold on 1 second, I'm going to set the mic down. There we go, turned it on. So someone who has Parkinson's, oftentimes they suffer from those tremors and they're shaking. So what this does, and the reason I put a quarter there is to show you no matter how much I'm shaking, I'm really trying to shake my hand right now, the quarter will stay placed there. So if someone's trying to eat, if that's a problem for them, instead of the food falling off, it will try and stay balanced as best it can so that somebody can continue to feed themselves even if they are suffering from Parkinson's. It's called Geno and it costs $300. So I think that was one of the coolest things I've seen at CES, and those are the type of things that you hope will really take off and maybe another company buys them and they perfect it and it makes it even bigger and can actually change people's lives. This is a piece of technology that also caught our attention. I'm going to invite Tracy in. So this is called the Illuma, and basically what this is a $100 device that you can attach to the back of your smartphone. It can come on and off, and it's really for personal safety. Safe to say, geared toward women?
Correct, definitely. Do you mind if I hold the device?
It's your device.
So what we love about it is that there are multiple different ways that the alarm can sound. And so there is a loud alarm that when the... And you can hear it there.
Here, I'm going to have you hold the microphone for 1 second, because what I thought was interesting about this, you can have it there and you can pull it out, but this part here, let's say a woman is on campus and she goes back from class late at night. So she can actually have this as like a wristband.
Correct.
I'm not pulling it out correctly.
Yeah, it goes over the top.
Yeah, you have this as a wristband, and so let's say you're walking, and then if somebody, you do that. But actually, the sound really isn't the cool part of it.
No, what I love about our device is that we have a silent alarm feature, and 80 to 90% of sexual assaults on college campuses are performed by someone who knows their perpetrator, which is staggering. So it means that you're in a situation with someone that you feel comfortable with. And so the silent alarm allows the victim to notify help without interfering with the conversation that she's having. So my background is I'm a professional counselor, so I'm seeing these women after the fact. And so often people are saying, I didn't report because there was shame, there was embarrassment, I didn't know what to say. I actually kind of liked the guy, or I felt comfortable with him, but I didn't want to make him feel bad, whatever. So the silent alarm immediately alerts users, but in a very discreet way.
And so if I can just actually tilt the microphone a bit this way, I'll make you into the broadcast here. So it's not just, when you talk about the silent alarm, it works with an app. It connects with an app via Bluetooth. So actually this could be in your pocket, your phone could be in the other pocket, and it actually alerts other people on your emergency contact list. So if I'm a young woman at campus and I have dad, mom, my 3 best friends who might live in my sorority, in the same sorority, it can alert all of them if I pull that trigger. Then it sends them a text message. They don't have to have the app, correct?
That's correct. They will receive a text message that says, Samuel's in trouble right now. Are you available to help? And so they will immediately be connected on a conference call. So if
with each other.
Correct. So if my mom is in another state, I'm going to college in another state, and she can't get to me, but my best friend can. But you know what's interesting about this is that the microcosm of the college campus expands to everywhere. So the runner, the real estate agent, the home health nurse, anyone who's alone can utilize this device. And then what's also fascinating is that we really want to empower and give freedom to senior adults who are going to be cell phone literate as that age group gets older. And so they are going to have the device and be able to do things on their own.
And I think it's also important to mention that it's not just to that group of friends. If at that point they decide nobody's close enough, then they can alert emergency services. And of course, because it's a smartphone, they know the location of that person.
Exactly.
So it's not out yet. It's going to be out in April. We're seeing the prototypes here. It's going to also have a monthly service charge, so $100, like I mentioned, for the device. And then they say it could be as much as $10 a month for that service. But given some of the security concerns that a lot of people, especially women and their parents have, I wouldn't be surprised if people were forking out that money for that.
Well, sure. And a monthly service fee that gives you peace of mind. You know, you'll pay $3 to $5 a month, even $10 a month if you need, to feel safe on the college campus.
Well, thank you so much for coming on with us. I really appreciate it, Tracy. And then we have this device over here. It's called the Zira. It looks a bit like a food processor, if you know that it has to do with food. So what's interesting about this is kind of like the compost pile that you have in your backyard. You can put your food in here, and this is actually created by an incubator that falls under Whirlpool. And it's available on Indiegogo right now for about $1,200. So you actually can put a week's worth of food in here, and it's going to mix it all up. They say it can take just about anything that a family eats. No bones, no pits, because it can't grind it up. So it grinds it all up. It takes about 24 hours, and all that food that's gone in there actually comes out in here. Hold on. There we go. And I'm going to pull this up so I can get off my knees. It actually comes out as this. It looks a bit like coffee to me, though I'm not going to try and eat it. But everything that's been ground up there, and it basically becomes a fertilizer that you can just throw in your backyard. It doesn't smell bad, at least the example that they gave me here. So an interesting way to see. I was thinking about when we were first doing this story about all the trash that we saw piling up in Lebanon. If you didn't see those pictures, you should Google the CNN story. All this trash was piling up in Lebanon over a month. They had some type of problem with their municipalities there, and it wasn't being collected. And you realize the massive amount of trash that we consume, that we put out as human beings, and it's really incredible. So hopefully this could help some of those environmental challenges. So we have been hoping that you've been sending us questions below in the comments section here. So now we have Matt Friedman, our lead producer here at Consumer Electronics Show. So Matt, what are you seeing in the Facebook section, comment section of Facebook?
So people want to know, what device would Samuel Burke use that you've just demoed here?
Well, for me, like I said, the one that I think is the most interesting, because a lot of times I get to do the cool stuff, the drones, 4K imaging, that type of thing, and it is fun, it is interesting, it is useful, but it's not life-changing. For me, these type of things, like this device, is what most moves me. The thing that I would probably use, I have to say, I think it would be quite interesting to see how this would work in a house like mine. I hope we don't consume as much as I'm afraid that we do, but I think that this one could be the one that would be the one that Samuel Burke ends up using. Matt?
So people want to know which of these products are on the market, and where can you buy them?
Okay, so on the market right now, Gino is on the market, like I mentioned, $300. If you want to shell out $16,000 for a pair of glasses, the Viewpointsystem is already on the market, though the reason why the price tag is so high, I don't think it's meant as a consumer device per se. You know, it is meant for law enforcement, as our friend was telling us, or maybe for surgeons or paramedics, so I think they're going after businesses. This is already Indiegogo, like we see with so many products. Go ahead. Later this year, it'll be available on the market, and maybe Whirlpool, since it was developed in one of those labs, incubators under Whirlpool, maybe Whirlpool ends up picking it up. And Matt, and that's it. All right, perfect. Well, it's the last day